This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. We're absolutely delighted to be joined with Cool Hand Luke Keeler. I know we've sort of known for a few weeks, sort of comeback was happening, and I know we speak on Irish Boxers Insiders WhatsApp group and things like that. And I know for a while you've sort of teased that you were sort of coming back. I guess sometimes people say they're coming back and don't come back, but after more than 3 years out of the ring, does it still sort of feel like a dream to you that you're sort of coming back to boxing?
Yeah, it's a long time, but to be honest, with COVID and there wasn't a lot of opportunities or fight offers, and then I was busy with work. I went back to work and life, and I had my son and Raven, who's a year and a half now. So things just get in the way. Now there was never really anything concrete kind of put to me attractive in terms of fights. But I kind of just I was getting to a stage where I was retiring, but could never actually say it. I remember thinking, should I put up a post or should I actually write something online to say I'm finished? Because I was at that stage. But this show, which was supposed to be in Lucan, came about, and a couple of it seems to be a bit of momentum building where Butch is actually, who's down in the gym, he was kind of chatting away with Stephen McInerney, and the Conlons got involved with the promotion license. So that kind of got the buzz back, thanks to Butch. And it was still I couldn't let it go, to be honest. I missed it. And then I didn't, the fight offer happened, and I said, I can't commit to it, and I don't know yet. It's 3 years out. So I said, I'll see how I am training. Started back in training with the lads, and felt better than I thought. Now, I don't feel too good, but better than I thought. So I'll just take it one step at a time. This fight will be a 6-rounder, a warm up, and then. But even the last couple of weeks, I've sparred. I had a good spar today with Paul Ryan, and I sparred Sen in 6 rounds last week. So it's coming back, the buzz, everything else, I suppose.
The gym, McGivis, obviously Pete's gym's obviously changed quite a lot. Obviously in the 3 years you've been out of the ring, obviously with Gary Cully obviously left recently. You obviously Tyrone McKenna, and obviously Sean McComb and stuff in there now. So sort of there's been a lot of change. Does it sort of feel like you've been away for more than 3 years where you're sort of going, I know these guys, but they weren't in the gym before. What are you doing? Are you down to spar? Is it sort of, do you feel like a sort of stranger in your own gym now?
I know, I popped in and out the odd time. I wasn't completely gone for the whole 3 years. So I used to go in and do a day here and there, get a load of stick from Screamer and Mark, and get the slaggins, and it didn't feel like a complete 3 year gap. So it was keeping myself tipping over. It hasn't been a complete stop, I suppose. But yeah, the gym has changed. We started off with Gary Cully and Davey Oliver in Bray with P, and he has a great team there now. The lads are helping out and giving out and slagging, but it's good setup.
It's, I guess, for a lot of people, what they think that sort of, whenever you have your world title fight with Demetrius Andrade before pandemic, and maybe some people might even forgot you fought for world title because of the pandemic and everything else. But when they think, obviously, you've had that world title shot and you're going, he's got what he obviously wanted in boxing, and he's finished. It's not that case for you. It's like you've unfinished business. I guess it's the love of the sport now. You're just over pro now 10 years, although you've had 3 years out. But Pete Taylor obviously reinvigorated your boxing career again. Obviously, you going full time, and what was around the end of 2017, start of 2018. So he sort of made you probably nearly fall in love with the sport again.
Yeah, you're spot on there. Yeah, you got your timelines right. But no, I did. I love things going back with P. It's like a second start in my career now. And I had a dream of winning a world title. That was my goal. I was built up for that, and I didn't compete as well as I wanted in that fight. So it was really disheartened. When you have your dream and your goal and you're thinking and you're building yourself up, it was hard to come back from. then COVID happened. It was during like just that literally after we went away on holidays, and it happened during that flight stopped, and we lost a year, and things just like I'm busy. I went back to work. Like life just gets in the way. Contemplated retiring a few times. Like I said, happy what I done in the sport. Like when I went to P, I struggled to a point to win against Darren Cruz. Didn't commit to the sport. And it was a different fighter with P, and I won a European title. So I kind of
Twice.
I could have left it. Yeah, I could have left and like you said, say be happy with things. But I always like the manner that defeat Andrade. I just want to go out on a high and kind of not have regrets, I suppose.
I guess sometimes when when you get that opportunity, when you're not so many people can have their dream. Every boxer nowadays will tell you I want to be a world champion, but how many of them actually really believe in it? When you obviously dreamt of becoming, fighting for a world title and everything else, and then you were across the ring from Demetrius Andrade, and obviously the knockdown early in the first round, I guess it sort of shatters your confidence a bit in a way. So I guess obviously for that early knockdown, you're sort of going, well, you could nearly expect that because you're like Bambi on ice. You're sort of going, I can't believe I'm here. Does that sort of fuel the fire that do you
Yeah,
believe you could sort of get the world title level again, or is it sort of more of a short term return?
yeah. Take it as a fight at a time, I suppose. There was a disastrous start, got hit, and it was kind of an autopilot. I can't even remember the first rounds. Like it was the second knockdown that was actually more. Battery went there. It was the second knockdown that was more damaging, and it was kind of an autopilot. So when I look back at the fight, it wasn't a great performance because when you just go back to instinct and you're not thinking and you're not seeing shots, and it was just wasn't something to be proud of. The performance, like stuck it out and kind of held in there and didn't give up. But in terms of actually being aware and seeing shots and boxing, it was a poor performance, and I kind of like I got disheartened because of that. When you build yourself up and you have a dream and then it's just shattered, and I wasn't at that level, regardless of the knockdown. It kind of knocked me back. So I'm just taking it one fight at a time, and I'm gonna like I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be a world champion, but what I wanted and what I'd love to do was to come back and maybe get like an Irish title fight or an all Irish fight with the likes of Jason Quigley. I know he's a super middle now, which probably suits me because I'm heavy. But like if I could sign off, I'd sign off at that. But at the same time, if I'm enjoying things and I'm happy in the gym and I perform well, you could have one more. It's
you,
see.
you just don't know what boxing can obviously bring
No,
up nowadays, and you get a big fight with Jason Quigley, and the next thing you're ranked with a governing body, and then someone goes, "Look, Keeler, do you want to dance?" And you're going, like, what have I done here? Obviously, just all of a sudden, people could nearly see because of your inactivity, they could nearly see it as an opportunity for somebody that's ranked as if they classify it as like an easy one sort of thing. They'd see you and they'll rank it against others. But that's what you would prey on at the fact that they would see you as an easy touch. I
yeah,
can remember, I would say probably, look, I would say your best fight that obviously I can remember being at was in the field. It's obviously just past there, the Lewis Arias fight, and you completely blew him away.
yeah, it was a good fight. Like, and he was a decent level and went on and done well after that as well. So, like, it's funny boxing. There's a lot of variables in there. Like, that fight didn't go to plan at all, but like, there's a lot of variables that can go wrong between camps and the night. And like you said, if a fighter sees me as an easy touch, they don't train properly. Like, it is a matter of percentages. So you never know. Like, something could come up like that and have a fairy tale. But like I'm literally just taking it one fight at a time, do this camp, get me 6 rounds, and then reassess things. I'm not like I've none like I'm not relying on boxing. Like a lot of people are in the position where they need paydays and I'm done well, and I went back to work and done well. So like I don't necessarily need boxing, but I do love it and miss it. So that's why I'm back. But at the same time, I listen to the body. I'm not stupid. Like I listen and see how I'm performing and be honest with myself. And the people around me are honest with me and say, look, maybe that's enough, that kind of way. So we'll see. We'll see.
I guess sometimes it's not, in 5 or 10 years down the line, when obviously the kids are growing up a wee bit, and you're going, I was a professional boxer. Maybe if I'd give it another chance, what could I have done? It's leaving yourself with no regret that when you come back and you go, I don't have it anymore. You give it a try.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I'm not. I've nothing to get out of this. I don't. What I've achieved already is enough. So I've no expectations. I'm not clinging on to something. I'm being realistic. So we'll see. I'll see. Take a step at a time, and like you never know. Like this, things can fall your way, and the likes of with Conlon, and fair play to Conlon Boxing coming down to Dublin, that there could be a bit of momentum where you can actually attract a fighter over, or Katie Taylor could be fighting again, and I know she's fighting in November. That's a fight I'd love with Quigley, but I don't know whether it'll happen. If there's a slot on that card, someone gets injured, maybe that could be a fight that could happen. So it just kind of it's funny boxing. It can change. Tommy McCarthy, who was in the gym, there's talk of him getting a big fight, and he's at the same position as me. Like we're at the end of our careers, so like things change. I suppose once you're in there active and training, things can open up for you.
You were obviously I guess you were sort of, boxing was obviously on the boom, obviously after obviously I know you fought in Windsor Park in 2018, but obviously, Ryan Burnett won his 2 world titles in 2017. Obviously Frampton obviously had his previously within at Windsor Park, and everything was building really, really well up, and then COVID happened. But it seems to be obviously now, and we're seeing this year, and I know you follow boxing religiously as much as I do, but I think it's 9 or 10 shows done now. I think it's 9, and another 5 announced before the end of the year, and the big, the carrot dangling there for obviously Katie Taylor in the 3 Arena. If that was to be your last fight and it was an opportunity to sign out on boxing, it's another ticket in the box where you can go, I fought in Katie Taylor's undercard.
Now let's say it's special, but if you don't get back and do the likes of 6 rounds, it doesn't happen. And it is buzzing at the moment. We starved the boxing in the Republic for all those years. Like I had to travel up north, and so it'll be a long time since I was back in Dublin. But the buzz around this fight, the interest, is the most. Even though I'm out 3 years, I've had more interest and inquiries for tickets for this than I had for any of the shows up north. So I think there is a bit of a buzz coming again in there, and touch wood, it continues.
It's been a long time since obviously you fought in Dublin. I think it was a Darren Cruz fight in 2017. So you probably never thought you would have probably got the opportunity to fight in Dublin again. So this is probably nearly going to feel like a debut again to you. Obviously, the RDS Arena looks brilliant. Obviously it's set up very well. You'll probably get that nerves. You're sort of walking to the ring and you're going, can I remember how to fight? It'll probably feel so surreal to you, and obviously it happening in Dublin again.
Yeah, look, but even coming back and sparring and training, like you go back into it quick enough. Like I'll go back in at like I have a good team of lads around that kind of get the crack going. So I'll just ease back into it. Hopefully, hopefully it's not too nervous or it's starting over again. Like it doesn't feel like, I know it's 3 years, but it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel that way.
Speaking of obviously the lads, I put up a couple of hours ago there for obviously questions for people, and obviously I believe Butch is going to manage you now. If maybe see management, is Butch your manager now moving forward?
Oh no, it's the same. Anthony's me manager. Butch was helping out with this fight and brought things about, but still me manager. So but
So
Butch,
Butch just says, when is he getting his hair finished? Screamer is looking fresh.
yeah. I don't answer that, Steve.
That's nearly as bad as me with the pictures.
But yeah, after this fight, yeah, so.
Obviously, I have a couple of questions from Jack Fitzpatrick. The first one he says, is there anyone you would really like to fight? We've obviously heard one in Jason Quigley. Is there anybody else? Not that you're sort of coming out dishing the dirt to try and get a fight, but is there anybody other than Jason Quigley you'd like to fight?
But do you know what? Like, that's not me style or anything. That Jason's a gentleman and a nice fella, but it makes sense. I think we box in the amateurs. One fight that was mentioned was Conor Coyle as well, who's flying and doing well, and that could be probably made as well. But that they were they're the two names that seem plausible and close to home and that could be made. But like you said, you get a win, you get back in the rankings. Like I'd probably have a 6 round or maybe an 8 round in October, and then just see what happens from that.
What have you made of the sort of, because I know obviously that's where it got you, obviously, the domestic scene sort of got you further on in your career. What have you sort of made of the domestic scene? Like there's been Celtic and Irish titles floating about more than there's probably ever been before. What have you made of the sort of domestic scene in Ireland, obviously, since you've been out of the ring?
Do you know what? I don't. You were saying that I followed it, but I'm not that fanatical to be honest. Like I don't really follow it that much. I see battery on there, but I see Graham McCormick. He had a couple of good scraps, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He had a close fight. I think he could be on this show as well.
It looks like him and Dominic Donegan's doing a rematch.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight. Like I watch bits and pieces, domestic wise. Who else is there? I see Emma Brennan is on the show as well. I actually we messaged Emma with the meet up for some sparring, so that'd be good. It's thriving, isn't it? Like it's good to see, and all the pros they all need to fight each other. Sen and Kelly, who's in the gym, he's fighting Dave Ryan, I suppose. So it is buzzing. Back a few years ago, it wasn't the case. But I think it's the only way that because he paying tickets and traveling and fighting. I think it is important just to get going that way.
It,
It's easy
it's
and it costs some money.
I was going to, because obviously you're a good person to obviously ask that question to, because we've obviously, when we see people have domestic fights, you're proof in the pudding that obviously you can through the domestic fights, the world can be your oyster, it can happen very quickly. With good, obviously, matchmaking probably along the way. Obviously, your two fights with obviously Conrad, the Lewis Arias fight, obviously got you in the position of the WBO, where it obviously got you world title opportunity. So you're proof in the pudding if anybody needs to look at an example where you obviously won your domestic fights and sort of got to the
Yeah,
promised land.
yeah. Like it is an art in itself, isn't it? Like matchmaking. And people ask me in the gym and fighters ask me, and I just say you can't have an ego like this. You be offered the lads could be offered fights, and the lads are literally world level. Like take for example, like Senan says the weight division is the likes of Kieran Malloy or Donovan, and as a manager or as a fighter, you might say, yeah, but a manager and the coach should just refuse them, that kind of way, and build like you want to be getting a payday and a ranking belt to take a risk like that. Like there's no point in, and even if you might win or whatever, you get nothing at domestic, and you have to say no to them. So you need a coach and a manager that will say no, and the same. Like I had great management, and I was offered fights that were silly, say at the time, and it could have derailed me from them rankings. Like I could have took a fight in the UK against a top guy, which was offered, and like if it's not the right management, the offer you and the fighter says yes, but the right management will say, Laird, this offer, we have to offer you the fight because it came in, but we don't think you should take it, which takes the pressure off you as a fighter, like, because we have egos and we don't want to say no, but it's bullshit, like, you have to say no to them fight, like, our styles, like some fighters are better with better styles, so you just kind of have to, it's an art that's probably lost, but see good matchmaking. I remember John Duddy reading an article with him, but he was matched very well and had fights and was brought up and sold tickets, and it can happen, like, and you can build correctly. It's a business as much as a sport, boxing. I remember Willie Casey was won a European title and he was bubbling, and all of a sudden like rather than taking another fight, I think he was in with Rigondeaux, and then it's finished. Then did he like there's cases that is incorrect management, and there's cases maybe myself that was avoided. Like I avoided a couple of English guys who could have possibly beat me, with like small paydays, and I got a decent payday and a world title fight. So I kind of try to push that with the lads and give them a bit of advice, because fighters, they just say yes sometimes, don't they, when you don't need it.
Kieran McIver was saying you get 50 million for the Demetrius Andrade fight, which I don't believe. Obviously, I think 50 million is a bit too much, but he's saying you're absolutely loaded. Um, Obviously, another question from Adam O'Neill. It says, "What made you come back?"
I just missed it. I wanted it. I didn't want to have a regret. Like, didn't want to have regrets with my career after the Irish title. I was talking about retiring. Regret was the big thing. Like, I felt, even though like I'm 30, like I'm getting on, but just I still
21.
feel fresh.
You're
You
still
know?
21.
Yeah.
So we're just picking this back up. Obviously, Luke's battery died there, so we'll obviously do our best to sort of piece this together. But I think we were sort of mentioning there. Obviously, the last question where obviously someone Adam O'Neill was asking what made you come back.
Yeah, what did I get into? What did I say? What was the lies I was telling?
I think you were saying more about the fact that obviously you missed it. You missed boxing and
Yeah, like you miss the buzz and the training and the boxing, the lads in the gym. But the part I said was the regret part. I felt like I could go out on a bit of a high. Like that defeat, I wasn't happy with the performance. If I had performed well in that fight and not caught it early, and maybe if I had performed well and gave a good account to myself, I probably could let it go. But I didn't perform well. I wasn't happy. So I came back. This offer obviously came up with Butch and McLean and Collins got involved then to run the show. So there was no real huge fight offers or anything kind of coming in. I went back to work. So things got in the way, but like it's at coming up, and I'll take it as a fight at a time and see, But I am loving it. I had a spar with Paul Ryan today. Sparred Friday. I done 6 rounds as well with Sennan, so it's coming together like,
do
and
you
then
feel
take
you
it.
got that buzz back again? Obviously, you've got that extra jump in your step, and are you sort of shadow boxing in the house and stuff again? Are you starting to really fall in love again?
The missus was actually videoing me doing that the other day, but last night. But yeah, you kind of forget about boxing. I'm an obsessive kind of a person, so I was just got caught up in work and got forgot it. But I have the buzz and the drive back again, so we'll see where it goes. Like I'm not saying I'm going to be a world champion, but I'll see where it takes me.
Well, it sounds like obviously you're keeping things close to your chest and where you'd ideally like to get to, but you need to see obviously how the comeback comes first of all. It's all well and good sparring, but it's getting in there in the ring in a competitive fight to see if you really still have the hunger and the drive to sort of keep going. Because let's face it, camps get harder. It obviously gets harder and with more than 3 years out of the ring, it's harder to lose the weight, preparing
Mm.
sort of for fights, drinking even the water, drinking the water on a daily basis without having to run to the toilet every 2 minutes. It's getting your
Mm.
mind trained back on into what you need to be a fighter,
Yeah,
pure and simple.
yeah. Like it's not easy either. You have the aches and pains, and you have the but there's a lot of positives from the training and keeping fit and like you said, the buzz around the gym with the lads giving you a stick 24/7 and the crack so there is a lot of positives. I'll take it one at a time and touch wood it goes well and I can go out on a high. Please God.
And obviously Tyrone McKenna obviously is part of the stables, obviously a headline in the card. He's obviously looking to become the fourth IBO champion in 12 months. It's incredible. Yes, it's not a recognised, fully fledged world title, but obviously it's getting people towards the bigger fights. But obviously the fourth IBO champion in just in what 12 months or so. It's incredible to think that it's now becoming like the Irish Boxing Association organization rather than the international.
Yeah, but you know what? It's actually more and more recognized now. Like, it's kind of coming up there, and like it is a very attractive belt. It's something that's probably plausible for myself, even. Uh, like maybe not world level, but like it would be a nice trinket for the bat, like for the trophy cabinet, I suppose. So like it is exciting, and to be honest, like Tyrone there, it could open doors for him for a big fight. he's welterweight now, and we actually had a school sparring session there. He'd be giving out that I'm weighing cruiser, but we had a good move around, and he's looking good already. It's good.
I see he obviously brought all the boats out of obviously the cupboard. So, is it sort of bringing back obviously the memories, where you remember your successes obviously in the ring. Is that to reignite the fire in you? Is it you now dreaming of adding a couple more boats to that?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because when you don't have them, you put so much value on them, and then when you get something, it's kind of just forgotten about. So it's important to actually, like I said, I took them I got a cabinet for the house and put them up. But it's good. It's a good talking point, I suppose. And it's something I seen Padraig had that IBO belt. It's an attractive belt. It's something that could be doable. Like a couple of wins. I got back high in my rankings with Boxrec, and it can be made maybe with Conor Coyle or Jason Quigley. I think the middleweight is relinquished by Golovkin, but it's that could be made. But like I said, it's one at a time. And like talking about titles and everything else, I'll do this 6 rounds in the RDS and go from there.
Obviously, after being out for more than 3 years, obviously it's probably fair to say some of the sponsors you had sort of maybe had in the past have sort of thought that was your day and sort of moved on. You're obviously going on the hunt now to obviously to get sponsors, because boxing's not a cheap sport, as you'll know, obviously, being involved for so long. So obviously, was anybody out there obviously looking to get behind Cool Hand Look Keeler again, give you a shout?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, do you know what? I had a couple of sponsors that were friends, and they're straight on saying that they continue on. So it is nice to have that support, and anyone new that wants to come on, they're more than welcome. I'll start talking myself up now about war titles, but no, it is. I was only joking about the 6 rounder, but no, it is important because camps are expensive, like you said, and it'd be good to get a bit of backing again from there.
Well, listen, obviously it's finally a pleasure. Interview 509 on obviously our YouTube channel, but we finally got you. And the good news is it's just over a month before we'll get you again. And obviously fight week in Dublin. And then obviously when you get back to winning ways as well. So you're like a
Yeah,
bus. You don't just come one at a time, there'll be two or three
yeah,
coming afterwards.
that's good. You know what? And I'd like to say, you got me a couple of bad photos there that you shared on Twitter. So I'm glad that you recovered that one. And you got me
I,
with that hair joke at the start as well. So.
I think I'm in bother when I see you in Dublin in fight week. I may bring a head guard and a
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
protector. I think I'm in bother.
yeah. I will let you away. Well, thanks, Stephen. Yeah,
Thanks
yeah,
very
good
much,
chat.
Luke, and we'll catch up with you soon.
No,
Cheers, take
bye.
care. Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye.